Welcome to the Kortex Media Podcast, Marketing Accelerator, your compass for navigating the dynamic world of marketing and business growth. I'm Korson Schmidt, founder of Kortex Media. Our mission is to equip marketing agencies with the custom growth solutions they need to unlock massive revenue increases and scale their business. Joining me today is Chris Raulf, founder and CEO of Boulder SEO Marketing, and one of the world's leading international SEO and AI experts. With nearly 3 decades in digital marketing, including hands-on experience dating back to the earliest days of search, from testing strategies before Google even had its name, to speaking at conferences in Barcelona and Shanghai, Chris's career has been front row seat to the evolution of search, and his micro SEO methodology is helping businesses of every size outrank the biggest competitors by blending human expertise with AI innovation. Chris, your journey in digital marketing is truly remarkable. You have extensive knowledge in SEO and marketing in general, but thank you for being on the show, by the way. But what was the inspiration behind Boulder SEO Marketing at the beginning of your journey?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Korson. It's great to be here. So I moved to the US back in '96. I'm from Switzerland originally, and then worked as an employee, and then eventually I had it with corporate America. It was not for me. Get a lot of vacation. Generally I had it with being an employee. So I read my horoscope one morning and it said, if you don't make a change today, you'll regret it forever. I had been in SEO, search engine optimization, from the very beginning. So I figured, if not now, when am I going to do this? I was getting a little bit older, turning 40. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start my own business. And then actually a friend of mine built me a website and he picked the name Boulder SEO Marketing. Figured I'd be a local SEO company, just went with it. And then ironically, the first client was a company in Israel, like one of the first customers. So made my way back from, taking on international clients, national clients, local clients. We still have a very first customer, which is a local machine shop here in Boulder County up in Longmont.
Wow.
It's been, 15 years, something like that.
That's amazing.
So that a little bit of background about me. And then finally, something is changing with search, with AI. Things are finally changing. I got into it right at the beginning when ChatGPT launched, and I've been obsessed with AI, SEO, GEO, generative engine optimization, ever since. I predict that's what we're going to talk about here in this podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of everything. I'm hoping some audience members can really pick up some insights and some expertise from yourself. Before really diving into it, I just want the audience to understand what you guys do at Boulder SEO Marketing. So can you give us kind of a quick overview of your core services that you guys offer today, and perhaps highlight a service area that has given you guys the most growth and you guys have truly excelled in lately?
Yep. So, sorry. We used to be a traditional SEO, search engine optimization company, but with the launch of ChatGPT in November of 2022, everything changed, right? AI is impacting every industry, including the search engine optimization search industry, right? So we developed a methodology called micro SEO strategies that we developed that back in 2021. That's a super hyper focused organic non-paid SEO strategy where we can outrank even the largest websites with this methodology. Then AI changed everything. So we started to transition to becoming a AI first agency content marketing agency that happens to be really good at search engine optimization. So
Okay.
now most of the money we make with generative engine optimization, which basically consists of creating a lot of content that's optimized for not only Google, but also platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, etc. So we made that pivot, and there's a lot of demand for what we're doing now.
For sure. Now, when you say content, are you morely saying it as blogs on websites, content as in Instagram, TikTok, etc.? What kind of content are you talking about when you speak about content that's truly optimized for GEO?
Yeah, content that reaches the right person at the right time in the right place. So that can be a LinkedIn post, that can be a in-depth guide, that whatever you can imagine people are consuming on whatever platform. That's what we're trying to deliver to our clients. It can be a YouTube video, it can be a podcast, right?
Hmm.
Content consumption needs have changed dramatically over the last 2, 3 years. So that's what you need to deliver as a GEO agency. So that's what we do.
Okay, super cool. And it's something that is somewhat newer to the marketing industry as well, and not many people know much about GEO and how they can truly push that out there. So, if there's any misconceptions that you see quite often with businesses, do you mind giving us a couple of those big misconceptions that businesses just need cleared up on to
Yeah.
understand truly what GEO is?
Yeah, it's very straightforward, right? It's basically having a very organized content marketing strategy that focuses on the buyer persona in quotes, right? The person potentially willing, able to buy your products or services. So you got to start there. Who's that person? Where do they get their information? It is not rocket science. And then be in those places with the right kind of content. It cannot be overly salesy, it has to be educational, it has to be properly optimized for those search engines or large language models. So it's pretty straightforward, but I find that most people are not willing and able to put in the effort to develop a content marketing strategy that includes multiple platforms. Most people, they will create a low quality blog post, probably AI generated with one prompt, right? So we go very deep. I just developed a 40-page prompt script that is part of our micro SEO methodology that essentially allows us to create the ultimate piece of content. There's no question, is it going to rank? Like, we know it's going to rank because we looked at everything, that will make it rank. So just, put in the effort if you want to rank at the top in Google or these other engines, it's not that hard. You just have to put in a little bit of effort.
For sure. And you brought up there a great point within marketing, which is educational content videos, which is the go to if you're trying to build a consumer base, build a customer base around social media. Um, with companies that you've been working with, what are some of the sort of industries that you guys work with, or do you work with a little bit of everyone at the same time? And what is the best kind of educational content out there? Because there's a few different ways. You can educate them on your product, you can educate them on the whole industry, and further on, etc.
Yeah, so there's certain industries that I'm not going to work with, right? But our clients, they're across a multitude of industries. So it doesn't matter. As long as they have a website or a product or service that people are searching for online, then we can help them, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And then it doesn't matter what the product or service is. at the end of the day, as long as there's somebody using one of those tools to search for what that customer is offering, then I'll be happy, glad to take their money in exchange for our services.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great that you guys have a broad range because you're gonna get a lot more insight into every single industry, figure out what works because maybe something works great with one industry isn't gonna work great with the other. So you guys can kind of bounce around, get ideas like that as well.
The-
With
That's
sorry, go ahead.
that's actually a good point. Very rarely does that happen, but occasionally it does happen. And then we try to stay away from those industries where we don't see great success because I hate not being able to deliver, right? These people, customers, they pay us good money to get a return on their investment. And sadly, I would say one and a half out of 10 times, it does not work as well as we hoped, right? But we try the same stuff that we do for other clients, but it does happen. So, and then, I try to learn from that experience and not make the same mistake again.
Yeah, and that's just part of being human. I love that you brought that up. That you guys are a big company. You guys have gotten tons of results for companies, but for you to say that sometimes you can't get results because specific industries or just something didn't work out along those lines is huge because we're all human at the end of the day. We're all going to make mistakes, and not even mistakes, just maybe not get results for certain clients, and that's great that you mentioned that because you're never guaranteed results with marketing, with sales. You're never going to be guaranteed results, but we can put as much effort in as possible and pivot as much as possible to try and get results as much as we can and put all that effort in there. So the companies that you don't get results with, yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get you guys results that you guys were looking for, but we put as much effort in as possible to try and get you results. We put our brains together as a big team to try to get you guys results. And I love that you brought that up because a lot of companies think they're the greatest because they get everyone results, but you're never going to get everyone results.
No, it's impossible. And I've been doing this for nearly 30 years now, right? So we have every intention to get everybody the results that they're looking
Yes.
for. But I mean, there's so many variables, right? Every website is different. Every website has a different domain authority, backlinks, content, like history, etc., etc. So every project is different, and we try to get the best results based on the cards that were dealt with.
For sure. I love that. That's awesome. So how is AI, including tools like Gemini and ChatGPT? I know you were early in the ChatGPT era. How has that changed what good SEO looks like for your clients at the moment? What are some of the
Yeah.
new pain points and complexities that have kind of introduced into businesses now that there is these newer and there's always new AI tools coming out, but
Yeah.
how does that add into the complexities of navigating the field?
So we still primarily optimize for Google because they still get, I think, 400 times the amount of searches than ChatGPT. ChatGPT within large language models, they have the highest market share. I think it's 70%, something like that. And then Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, other tools, right? So do we put like all our effort into optimizing for GPT and these other generative AI tools? No. A lot of the concepts are very similar. One of the biggest differences that I see compared to the old SEO, backlinks, high quality backlinks, they're still important. However, now brand mentions, in even unlinked brand mentions, extremely important because these generative AI tools, they're going to have to return information and it has to be factually accurate, right? It has to resonate with the person consuming the content. So um, building your brand online is very important. So we do a lot more what is called EEAT building: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. It's a critically important ranking signal, not only in Google, but also for these generative AI tools, where they have to be able to rely on accurate, factual information that's floating out there, that's verified with a real brand. So, brand building, one of the most important things that you can do in the era of GEO, generative engine optimization.
Okay, amazing. And that's where you guys kind of step in and help build that brand up as well. Um,
Yeah.
One question, because this is more marketing in general, and I know you have knowledge in more than just SEO and GEO. So, as of today, what are some of the most effective strategies you've seen be used in marketing at the moment to scale customer acquisition for clients or
Yeah.
for yourself? What has been that go-to that you see working super great right now? What seems to be the hot spot and is truly getting results for customer
Okay.
acquisition?
Let me start by what I think is no longer working.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, Crazy outbound marketing. I mean, so many, I get so many emails. They're so customized, right? And
Yeah,
AI tools are being used, and there all these messages are very similar, very customized. But believe me, like people like me, we don't have time, right?
yeah,
Our inbox is getting flooded because they get into our inbox because they warm up the certain domains and they're able to send those emails. We simply don't have time. Block 50 emails a day. So email used to work really well not too long ago. We dabble a little bit in it, abandon it. It's
yeah.
not working. What is working, and obviously I'm biased, is
Hmm.
organic SEO. Create content for the right people, put it in the right places so that that content is being found organically. I see a major shift with the emergence of AI, where it's so easy now to get content. If you think back not too long ago, it was like the 10 blue links, right?
Yeah,
That we relied on. Now we get most people don't even click through to websites anymore because AI overviews or AI mode soon, as it's going to be called, is giving us the information. So yeah, I think things are changing in my favor. Again, I'm biased. I run a organic AI SEO GEO company.
yeah.
But we're doing extremely well. We optimized our own website a little bit. Uh, we're doing well, so that's what I believe is working, what I see is working.
Okay, amazing. That's great
Yeah.
insights into the industry, and that's what I'm looking for to help our audience that are that are in this space or want to get started in this space, just learn a little bit more. Now, when you speak a little bit, when you speak about AI um, and SEO and not using websites, now when we get to the point where people are just using, say, ChatGPT or just using Gemini rather than using your regular Google search, and people aren't going into websites, how are we going to be able to optimize our website information to truly get the best conversions through our
Yeah.
wording within our websites on that LLM itself? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of these large language models, it's sort of very not clear, who provided the content that they're serving. They have to make it clear so that you can click through, right? There's like a citation or a link in citation.
Hmm.
So if your target audience is primarily using a certain tool like ChatGPT, obviously you got to figure out, how is that content being served to that person? Do they get an opportunity to click through? Does the content include already the contact information of the place where they want to get something from? So you got to optimize your content on your website or whatever digital entity you're going to use to display your information, to make it as easy as possible to get your contact information or link inserted into the AI snippet that those tools are producing. And it's a great question. We're so at the beginning of this whole AI craziness. Things are changing every day. So what we see today is not necessarily what we're going to see tomorrow, right? At the end of the day, those tools are only going to stay in business if people are using them, and at some point they're going to have to monetize those tools through ads, through subscriptions, whatever it is, right? So things are going to change. I see changes every day. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to figure it out.
For sure. It's such a crazy time right now with AI, with marketing in general. There's changes happening all the time in every single industry, especially marketing. It's such a fast-moving industry, and if you're behind, you're way behind. You got to make sure you stay ahead of the trends and keep moving forward. Now, speaking about moving forward, looking ahead for Boulder SEO Marketing. Now, I know you've kind of traveled the world, spoke on conferences, but I want to go back to Boulder. And what is the true goals that you have for Boulder, and where do you want to see it in the future?
Yeah, so we're sort of like a two-track strategy that we're pursuing right now. I've been traveling the world extensively, speaking in all over the world. It gets exhausting, to be honest. I think I'm going to take a little break from doing so because there's so much business in the US, and especially here in Colorado, where I'm at. I'm in Boulder, Silicon Mountain. I want to dominate Colorado, which we're getting to. So we're opening satellite offices, sales offices all over the state. I love working with, small, medium-sized businesses where we can actually get together, have a coffee, a beer. I really enjoy that. So while I greatly enjoy traveling the world and making amazing contacts and, learning about new cultures, etc., I think I'm gonna shrink my orbit a little bit. So we're gonna try to focus more on local businesses. And then obviously there's a lot of demand for AI SEO, where we excel in. If you do a search for, AI SEO webinar, like we're number one. We're doing a recurring webinar. So we get a lot of, people sign up for our education information. They learn about what we do. They learn about our BSM Copilot tool that we developed. That's part of our methodology. So local SEO and AI SEO, that seems to be a good strategy for us at this point.
That's amazing. I love how how you want to help the local companies, where it all started, right? With your partner picking Boulder, going back to the origin and helping out the local community as well. So I love that. And AI it's the direction of everything. It's the speaking of everything. It's where everything's going to go. So I love the business model behind that as well. Now, when we talk about these goals and you wanting to open up some offices around the country, reach some companies, more companies that you guys can help, small to medium sizes is what you said. What are some of the challenges with doing that, and what is kind of holding you back from reaching those goals that you have ambitions to reach?
Yeah, I wish I had more time. That's right now. I have so many ideas, so many things that are on my list. Unfortunately, I don't have unlimited funds. I cannot hire unlimited amounts of people, right? You got to make sure that the company is profitable, that we pay our people good salaries. So as a small business, we're small, we're about 20 people. You always deal with growth, like your profit is your engine that drives everything, right? I don't want to take on outside money. I want to be in control. I know how to do this. I got it to a good point at this place.
Yeah.
So I wish I had more time, or I had more energy. I turned 55, so slowing down a little bit. But I have an amazing team in place, an amazing business partner, the right people to, continue doing what we're really good at. So things are going slower than I wish they go, right? But that's okay. Just realizing that it's okay the way things are going. It's a very sustainable growth, manageable. So I think I'm okay with things how are going. I just wish I had more time. That's
Yeah,
that's one of the things.
for sure. Can I ask a question just a little bit deeper on why you think things are going a little bit slower than you were hoping?
I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're the owner of a business, you have massive dreams, wishes, wants, aspirations. And I don't think any business owner is content with where they are, because that's what we thrive on, right? This is what we want to do. So I wish I could do, 10 more things today, but it's not possible. I may be able to do two things, do them well. So it's totally fine to know your limitations. For me, it's hard, but it's fine, right? I accept it. I've been doing this long enough, and it got me to a really good point, personally and with my business.
Yeah.
So, it's okay.
No, that's amazing. You've traveled the world speaking, helping teach people, motivate people, and that's something that's huge because there's not a lot of people that get the opportunity to do that, especially with the knowledge that you do have from the years of experience that you've brought to the table. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
people that have the ability to travel the world and speak like yourself. Sorry, I'll let you chime in there.
So one thing, so I developed a 40-page prompt engineering sequence. I tested that before my vacation. I just got back from a 3-week Africa vacation. And what I was able to create is really incredible. The results are astonishing, way better than I thought they would be. So just knowing that I'm sitting on something that's not yet perfected and that we can implement for us and our clients drives me crazy.
That's awesome.
Um, so I just need, to get to it, to get it done. And I mean, that's I think what most entrepreneurs, deal with. And I think it's a good problem to have in a way. And I'll get to it, as soon as I can.
Definitely. Do you mind speaking a little bit more on that 40-page prompt that you did make? What it's helping you with? And I know you kind
Yeah.
of touched on it earlier, but just getting a little bit more in depth for maybe people a little bit more confused on that situation.
Yeah, so I'll give it away. So if you do a online search for the keyword property management SEO, you'll find an article at the top spot, and you can do it now and see if it's there. I think you're in Canada.
Yeah.
Property management SEO, the first non-paid organic search result, at least here in the Colorado area. It's an article that I created with the help of this prompt sequence, and a transcript of a conversation that I had with a property management company here in the Boulder area. So basically, I was able to transform the transcript of the conversation that we had into a article, using virtual Chris. So we built a virtual Chris where online that sits on top of one of these large language models, where we feed it with all the knowledge that I have, where I speak at conferences. So That's all uploaded. So basically, I had Virtual Chris create this article, 100% AI generated. However, it's based on my knowledge and that prompt sequence. I did nothing else to it. I put it up on our website. It ranks for some of the most competitive property
Wow.
management SEO related search terms. Because it's not AI generated, it's generated by Virtual Chris that has all of my knowledge. So I hope that makes sense, and that's what we're
Yeah,
implementing for our customers now. Yeah, and
that's that's amazing.
did you find that?
I looked it up. Which one's it under? Because
Uh,
I have three sponsored, and then I have my AI overview, and then I have a Reddit one, and then you said the second one down from the sponsored ones. But
it's
that
here in Colorado. It's the number one. So if anybody's doing the search, property management SEO, at least here if in the US,
let me try
Colorado,
Colorado.
property management
Yeah, got
SEO.
it.
Yeah.
Just had to add Colorado to it. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's more locally focused for,
yeah,
I talk about this market here.
yeah. No, that's amazing. I got one final question, and this one's a big one that I really hope the audience stays for the end of this episode because this question is huge for the younger generation getting started within marketing, getting started within SEO, getting started within any type of marketing. Um, what advice do you have for the younger generation wanting to get started with entrepreneurship, marketing, etc.? What is the number one advice you have for them getting started in this industry?
Yep. So we got 5 kids. My youngest, she's in college, second year here in Boulder. They don't teach AI yet.
Really?
Uh, they're rarely allowed to use AI. What I'm looking for when I hire people is people with expertise in AI that know how to learn new things. So, become a great learner, understand how these tools work, understand AI, embrace AI. It's not going to go away. So you got to be proficient, AI proficient. You got to kill it with prompt engineering instead of just a sentence prompt. Create a paragraph or a page or 40 pages that will get you to something that is way better than a single prompt. And then, if you want to start your own business, you got to be passionate about the stuff that you're going to do. And you're going to be willing to put in long hours and really embrace it and, have fun with it and just take a chance. I went all in. I just bought a house, you know, new part-time single dad. I had money, I think, for 2 or 3 months when I started my own business. I'm like, screw it, I'll figure it out. So you need to have that kind of attitude to make it work. And, I do not regret anything. But you gotta have passion for it and be willing and able to learn this new stuff.
For sure. And there's so much to learn out there, especially this past year. 2025 has been crazy for what's
Yeah.
been coming out there. So I love that advice. It's great advice because there's so much to learn. And just like marketing, if you get behind, you're way behind. So
Yeah.
I love that advice. Chris, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time to share your expertise. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap it up?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on the show here. If anybody wants to reach out, just Google my name, Chris Raulf. You'll find me. Always happy to talk shop or share free information.
Amazing. Thank you, Chris.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you taking the time to come on. And you have a ton of knowledge within SEO. And I know a lot of people say that SEO is dying or whatever. That's everyone's saying that, right? So
Yeah.
um, to hear a pro within the industry to actually speak about it and speak about where they think it's heading is amazing to hear.
Well, I mean, see where it's going. I talk to people every day. Like, we're actually getting too many leads. I'm selling leads to other agencies.
That's
If
crazy.
we cannot service them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ones that are saying that SEO is dead or that they're just delusional, they're not up to par. Yeah.
Yeah.